Dr. Doreen Graham Pichet is the
Dr. Doreen is an expert in autism.
Doreen Graham Pichet.
Dr. Graham Pichet.
Dr. Doreen Graham Pichet.
Dr. Doreen Graham Pichet is a visionary in the field of autism. Now you can ask her questions on Ask Dr. Doreen.
Good morning and welcome. We're welcoming back Dr. Doreen Graham Pichet. We haven't had you for a while.
I know. It's been like, I think a month almost.
And this is I think our only time to have you in studio for the month of April.
Yes.
A very special month because it's April Autism Awareness, Autism Action, Autism Advocacy, Autism Acceptance, whichever one of those A's you like. But it's also your birthday, so we haven't had an opportunity to wish you happy birthday on the show.
Thank you.
So happy birthday.
Thank you, Shannon.
We all had a good time celebrating it while you weren't here.
Yeah, I know. That's awesome.
Which is a little odd and weird, but we enjoyed it. I'm sorry that you didn't get to be here, though. But we had a good time. I hope you had a good time where you were.
Yes, I did.
Okay, good.
Yes, thank you very much.
That's a wonderful thing. So for people who don't know, you are, I believe, the preeminent expert in the field of autism. You've been working in this field for way more than, how many years?
40 years.
I'm just going to start saying 70
40
because
years.
it's like, it seems so ridiculous, right? She's been doing this for 150 years,
Yeah.
right? It just seems like, crazy numbers. We're just,
40 years.
it doesn't seem possible that you could have, because she came out of the womb and started practicing.
Crazy.
And even that doesn't, your face doesn't show that. But you have worked over those years with all kinds of individuals on the autism spectrum, from very small children, up through senior citizens. And as I always like to remind you and everybody else, I really believe that Dr. Graham Pichet is a visionary because she sees what's coming. I think you really saw the insurance thing coming way before anybody else did, and I'm so grateful that you did, because that's made such a difference for so many families. Yes. And by the way, we need to announce that we are down to just one state in the United States that does not have a mandate. Tennessee, what are you doing? Get with the program. Right?
Honestly.
But welcome Wyoming to the party. So that now 49 of the 50 states have a mandate so that people can have insurance that covers ABA. It's way about time. And we really want to congratulate, especially Lori Unum, for being such a person at the forefront of that and pushing for that. But I was saying that you saw this coming before I think anybody else did, and got things in place so that families could benefit from it, and that has made a tremendous difference. So it is such a thrill to us to get to have Dr. Graham Pichet here answering questions in real time.
Thank you.
We do need to give the disclaimer that no expert in any field, let alone autism, could give individual specific advice in this format. That would be a disservice to the individual who's on the spectrum, because you don't have the opportunity to be there, see them, talk to them, know more information. So be as specific as you can when you write your questions, and know that Dr. Graham Pichet is going to give information of a general nature to help you to decide what questions you might ask next. But as people write in all the time, it's so helpful. So.
No, it is. It's wonderful. And I see that Evelyn has actually been trying to help some parents as well, which I love.
She has filled in a couple of the weeks while you were gone.
That's terrific, yeah. Wonderful.
In fact, she has been able to fill in enough times that yesterday, on Tuesday, we run a best of, clips, and we ran an entire best of Evelyn Kung.
Oh my God, I love that.
And we do have a follow-up coming for the person who wrote in, because I know you wrote in to me in a couple of different ways, but we do have that coming up. So I'm going to launch in with our first question.
Sure.
Hi, I'm Sandy, and I have a son who is 11 years old with mild autism. I was wondering what daily small exercises will help him with his gait and motor skills. Furthermore, I would like to know what I can do to improve his comprehension. And she says, thanks.
Okay, so Sandy, it's too, my answer would take the next 5 hours. So what I suggest you do is actually go on Skills. Skills was built for parents like you, where you're looking for, let's say, one specific area or some feedback for, let's say, some motor activity, and then also some comprehension. If you go on Skills, where the website for Skills is skillsforautism.com, and if you go there, and you can very easily license out for 1 month. I mean, actually, I think there's like a 2-week free period even or something. And
14 days.
14 days of free time on there. So what you do is you go in and you will answer questions. It starts with an assessment, and I would suggest that if you want to focus on motor skills, do the motor skills curriculum. There's different curriculum areas. Conversation or comprehension will probably fall under 3 different areas. So you might want to take a look at some of the other areas like language. Comprehension will be under language, but it'll also be slightly under probably academic as well as social. So you might want to look at all the different areas, the domains. It breaks down when you click on each domain, it'll show you the subdomains, and then you can see what's of interest to you or what you think your child needs most. And then you go into the assessment portion and you answer questions. For instance, the question about motor skills and gait, there's a whole ton of questions that you would answer. What do you specifically want to focus on? What is the issue with his gait, et cetera, et cetera. And you'll say, yeah, you know, the assessment asks you, does your child do this? And you say yes or no. And once you've done that, it'll link you to all these programs, very specific to whatever area you want to focus on. And then in the program, it tells you absolutely a million ideas on exercises for gait, for motor skill, other motor skills, fine motor, gross motor, you name it, eye-hand coordination, you name it. There's a lot of stuff in the motor curriculum, as well as, of course, in the language and social curriculum areas. And then you can just follow those instructions.
And I just want to say, too, I've somewhere, and in all the things that we've done lately, I've lost my little tent. I got to ask Skills to give me another little tent that has all the information on it so we can visually show it. But when you go and sign up for the 14-day trial, you will give a credit card number that on the 15th day, if you don't cancel, will be charged. So you need to know that. But you can also, there's a number that's on everywhere on Skills, an 800 number that you can call them and ask questions about where would I find this, and they'll be very helpful to help you to find that. But a lot of times parents see Skills and they get so overwhelmed because there are so many different things to it.
Yes.
And I always find this a little bit interesting. I understand being overwhelmed. I get overwhelmed a lot. But it's a lot like when you go to a grocery store, right? There are a lot of things you're not going to buy in the grocery store. There's a lot of things you're not going to use. There's a lot of things you're not going to look at, right? But if you go into the grocery store and you know you want bananas, then you go to you ask somebody, how do I get to the bananas? And you don't worry about where they have the frozen strawberries.
Right.
Because you're not there for that. So Skills has a lot of things that it can do. Never think that you need to know all of them or use all of them today or ever. It's a huge tool.
Right.
Like a toolbox that has something for everybody, right? But you don't necessarily need to use all the tools, and you don't need to know about them, and you certainly don't need to use them all at the same time.
Right.
So the assessment is one of the most fabulous things that there is. It's such a great investment in you and your child and knowing where your child is right now. I always say it's like the map in the mall that says you are here.
Honestly.
It's a snapshot of exactly where you are. You'll be able to see, oh, this is where my child is, you know, doing okay. This is where my child has a deficit, so we need to work on that. Here are the strengths that we can capitalize. You will know exactly where you are. I don't know of any other way that parents in their own time can get that for themselves.
Definitely.
Other than the assessment. And then once even when you start the assessment, you can begin to look at lessons. You don't have to wait and get the whole thing done at once. But I really want to urge you not to sift through and try to find it all on your own. Call the number if you have a question and say, here's what I'm looking for, you know, show me where to find it. And the Skills folks will be happy to do that. And if you need help connecting to them, email me and I'll get you there. Because I love Skills. I'm like Skills' biggest fan.
Yeah, no, it's awesome.
And the ways that I was able to use Skills over the years, like every time I needed something, it was like, oh, Skills has that too.
Yeah.
And then you learn how to do that. But don't think you got to do the whole thing at the same time.
Exactly.